Why, hello. Oh gosh, I'm so big. Why am I so big? Hold on. Let's fix this. There we go. How's everyone doing today? My transitions still seem to be broken, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Welcome to let's see who we got in here. Rando, Lost Boys, and Hikaru. How you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I stayed up way too late last night, but you know what else is new these days? We got some awesome music to start off with. Man, I've been in love with Stream Beats recently. I found an album, it's one of their less listened to albums actually, and it's just perfect for me. I love this type of music. Just super chill. You might have noticed it in my more recent videos. That's why that's where that comes from. I was using Soundstripe for forever. I still am to a certain extent, but we're using more of these guys these days. But yeah, welcome to Saturday. I'm stretching because I can. So yeah, it's Saturday. There's been a lot to go on this week, like a lot. Between making 2 videos and work being kind of crazy, I don't think I've gone to sleep before like 3 a.m. all week, and that's not because of my own choice. That's like because of work or something else. So my sleep schedule is just all out of whack this week, but you know what? It is what it is. It was still a pretty good week overall. I can't really complain too much, but yeah, so excuse me. One of the bigger things to happen this week was definitely our good old friend Nijisanji videos. That was definitely the highlight of the week. It's been doing pretty good. Though I will say I had a lot more fun making my little creepy video that I posted. What was it, yesterday? Thursday? When did I post that? I guess it was technically yesterday morning, right? Yeah, it was. That was really fun to make. But and it's been a while since I've done a stupid video like that. I think the last one I made was actually for April Fools. Yeah, it was actually. It was the Ultra Dragon Dream Feat. That was the last one I made. So it's been, holy cow, it's been 3 months. Oh my gosh, where has time gone? That's crazy. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, 3 months is a long time. Like, it's a very long time to not do crazy stuff for me, I guess. Jeez, that really is a long time. But you know what, it is what it is. But in that same vein, it did give me some ideas. We're gonna have another video coming out probably on Sunday, maybe. It depends on how fast some people get back to me. I was looking around at videos and watching a lot of people's videos about Hololive and how to get into Hololive and Nijisanji, just all that stuff. And then I watched Usagi's announcement video last night, and it was I don't know, it made me start thinking a lot about like VTuber agencies and what people do to, or what people need to do to actually get into one and things like that. And there's been a lot of like audition help videos that have been coming out, you know, between the nice one that Hikaru made, Usagi's made one, a few other people have made some as well, but I think they're the big players right now. But something I've noticed is there's not a whole lot of experience from people on the other side. So that's kind of what the video that I'm making, hopefully to come out tomorrow, is going to be about. We'll see if I can actually get it done. Is application advice, but from the perspective of someone who's been on the other side. Like I've done a lot of hiring over the last several years. I've hired several people to jobs at the company I work for, and people, I think it would be an interesting video. It's gonna give you some really weird advice that I have yet to see anyone else mention, which is why I'm mentioning it. Like, for instance, one of the things that I have on the video so far, which is going to sound really weird, but trust me, it works. If you should at least try it before you think about it as being just really weird. It's dressing up while you're doing stuff, like getting into nice, like, you know, suit and tie, dress, whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat. But like being dressed up and professional while you're doing stuff, even if it's something that no one else can see, there's like actual science behind that. Like behind it improving your performance and making things more professional, because you have taken the time to make yourself look more professional, therefore you feel more professional. It's kind of weird, but it does work. I mean, I've done it. I've done it back when I did some college exams and just in school in general. And if you don't believe me, just try it. You feel different when you dress up. Like, I think everyone sort of realizes that, but doesn't want to actually think about it. But it's a really good, interesting tactic. There's actually been a few people have written about it extensively for things like phone interviews and things like that. But it's really just, I think a lot of things that trip people up about like interviews or applications is the mental space that you're in when you're doing it. You have to really be cognizant of like why you are answering in the way that you are instead of the way that you would normally answer, because that can matter a lot. I can tell you just so many examples of people who they send in applications, but they're not like fine-tuned for what they're doing. They're good answers, but not great answers. And I think a lot of people could take good answers and turn them into great answers if they realized who they were talking to. Now, thankfully for a company like Nijisanji, we have a lot of data about what the employees are going to be doing. Employees in this case being streamers, right? Like you can spend hundreds of hours looking at all their streams, writing down details, all this other stuff to get a feel of like who's the type of person they're trying to hire and how do you be that person. Maybe it turns out that you're just not that type of person, but you can get the vibe that they're going for, and that's kind of what's important. Because from an employer's perspective, I would much rather hire someone who is slightly less qualified if I feel like they're gonna fit into the team like really, really well. Because there's so many problems that you can have from just like interpersonal conflicts in a company, that making sure your whole team is on the same page is just so important. It cannot be understated or overstated just how important that is. So, but yeah, that's the sort of video I'm making, because I feel like the generic tips that they've kind of been said all over the place, and so I didn't want to just make a video like that, because, you know, I have friends who've made videos like that, and there's plenty of other people who've made videos like that that probably will do them better than I could. But like I said, I just haven't really seen many people talk about what it's like from like the other side and what they're looking for. So that's kind of the approach I'm trying to go for. So we'll see. I've got a fun little opening skit for it planned, which is involving another, I think she is technically still a YouTuber, but she's going to be doing some voice work in it, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good little collaboration. It's going to be good. Man, gosh, I love Stream Beats. This music's so good. Also, I think my phone has drifted over because of like more recent videos, because I feel like these days my head's like always like slowly starting to tilt to the right. I don't know why, it just is. But so yeah, that's just some of the Nijisanji stuff. And then there's talking about Hololive, and what the thing I also wanted to talk about a little bit is Nijisanji's new company, Isekai Incorporated, which has some interesting stuff going for it. I watched their announcement video last night, and to my surprise, they announced a lot of interesting things that I kind of wish other VTubing companies would embrace, even though I really doubt that that's going to happen. So like, for instance, let me just pull up that Discord real quick, because they did like a Q&A afterwards that also went over some of the stuff. They don't care what other forms of content you make. Like, they even mentioned OnlyFans as like that would be acceptable, which is interesting. Hello Mela, how you doing? Welcome. But yeah, so they mentioned that as acceptable content in their company, which I thought was really interesting. And they basically more or less stated that like whatever you do, as long as they're seeing a return on their investment, is fine by them. Which is that's an interesting thing to take away. But they also said something that it really made me curious about, like, why are VTubing companies so focused on streaming? Like, just streaming. I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it, you know? Like, so in their example, they said that you would have to stream at least 3 times a week. Also, let's move myself down just a little bit. So yeah, in their example, they said that you'd have to stream at least 3 times a week, which is the same kind of restrictions that Nijisanji does. But we can talk about this, but in Japan it goes far beyond that. Oh yeah, like there's a lot of other stuff that you have to do, right? Like I know Hololive does like their songs, their skits, their productions, and all that stuff. So like I say just streaming, right? But I know there's a bunch of other stuff that goes with it. But streaming is always the thing that they focus on. Like, everyone has that as a requirement rather than a what's the right word? I'm trying to think of how. You think I think they're focused on streaming because the money is easier. Like, ad revenue is difficult to calculate. It's actually not too bad, but radio, TV. Yeah, I guess it feels like, now maybe this is just me, but with VTubing going how it's going, they're not the, like, they're still the #1 players, sure, in the VTubing sphere, but VTubing is like kind of crossing a little bit of a threshold, in my opinion, where it's not it's not just its own little category anymore. Like, VTubers are like, yeah, we're still a niche, sure. That's still true. That'll probably always be true. But we're a niche of a big, we're a niche of a bigger niche, I guess. And the bigger niche is slowly starting to just accept that that they exist and like treat them like normal people, which is diluting like people like Hololive's appeal, right? Like I'm trying to phrase this into a better way of a better way of stating it. But basically, because there are so many high quality indie VTubers, it makes Hololive and Nijisanji less special. So VTubing is no longer just competing against itself. It's competing against bigger and more established streamers, is the way I would describe it. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, Soda Poppin' did a VTubing stream and has a VTuber avatar now. Like, Gura with her 30,000 viewers is on the same level as Soda Poppin' with his now, right? Or like, we're no longer putting Gura versus, you know, any other Hololive member or any Nijisanji member. We're now putting Gura versus like XQC, and XQC wins that in terms of like just sheer number strength. And so that's why I'm concerned about these VTubing companies focusing so heavily on just streaming, because I feel like you can't get away with just streaming anymore. And to be fair, I don't think you've been able to do that for a while. But even these giant companies with a lot of backing, sure, you'll get your initial viewers, but I feel like you have to do a lot more to keep it going now. I mean, even just look at me, right? Like, I'm not anybody, and I have a pretty good model and can do stuff, and I have been doing stuff. Like, my existence makes VTubing less unique because I know that other people can do this, like, pretty easily, actually. That's not a big surprise to anyone. So I don't know, it's something I've been trying to figure out, like, what is the answer, right? Because obviously for companies like Hololive and Nijisanji, they are going to, hold on, there we go. Sorry, fixing the old model, you know. It just feels like I don't know what is gonna happen, because like okay, you know what, here's actually a good example of what I'm talking about. Now, this has changed recently. I'm not entirely sure what the turnaround point was for these, but let's get Firefox here on the table. Good old Firefox. I mean, anyone who's been around me knows I'm a numbers guy, so hopefully numbers don't bore you guys, but I think it's good to illustrate a point here. One second while I pull this up. Oh yeah, how is June doing for Gura? Looks like June's doing okay. Is there a way to show the whole history? I guess not. Yeah, okay. So here you go. It should be coming up on the screen any second. That's way too big. Let's put this over here. Boom. It gets to be on the couch now. So, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see it better. Trust me. So stuff like this. This is good old Gura's channel. Gura is the biggest Hololive member right now, so that's why we're picking on her. She's doing great, by the way. It's just interesting. There's a few stats that I want you to kind of know or to look at. First off, her subscriber chart, which isn't like a great measure of success. It's just worth noting. So like, and you would expect this to go down a little bit as time goes on, but she started off ridiculously huge and didn't really recover. And that's actually very telling of like her views as well. Like she was huge and then she went down quite a bit and kept down a downward slope until May/June, where Hololive kind of had a revitalization around this time, because like that's when their new costumes came out. They did a little bit of some other stuff. Like even Ina and Gura now have their own music videos, that type of a thing. There's a lot that they changed to go forward, and I think that it's kind of telling that this was their just streaming phase where they didn't really grow at all. Now granted, this is also a tough time of the year, so maybe that had something to play into it, but this kind of slope is true of all the Hololivers. Like if we go and look up Amelia Watson, this will probably pull up someone else. Okay, good, it didn't. So she actually had a little bit of a bump in January and then did the slow crawl down. I forgot what she did here, but she did something. But like, see, look, it's the same type of slope. And only recently their new content has kind of lifted them up a little bit. So this is kind of what I'm talking about with all this streaming shenanigans. Is I think there was a time, especially on YouTube, where if you reached a certain size as a streamer, you kind of hit like that critical mass point where it kept you going. And you were just so much bigger than everyone else that you got everything. But I don't really think that that's true anymore. I'm actually curious. I haven't looked at these, so let's just look at them together because we can. Let's look at the newest Nijisanji members. Okay, so she's only been out a month, so this doesn't really mean anything. I was more just curious. So far she seems to be doing okay. But again, as with any debut, you know, you start off amazing and then it slows down from there. If all you've done is a debut. I should preface that with a giant asterisk. If your first thing is a gigantic debut, it's gonna take you quite a long time to recover back up to that point. Their debuts are so hyped, they get so many views, they get so much attention that it's almost impossible to like reach that level again, or at least that's the way it feels to me. And that's also what the numbers show. So, you know, it is what it is, whether or not you want to agree with me. So yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't really know how to, like, I made the "you should stop streaming" video. That summarized a lot of the points I was gonna make anyways, but I don't know. I just genuinely feel that streaming is not enough anymore, and I really want to know what these big VTuber companies are going to do to adapt to it, you know? That's what I want to know, for sure. Anyways, I lost my train of thought there for like 3 seconds. Actually, it was a lot more. What was I? I have no idea where my train of thought went. So let's just go back to talking about interesting things like Isekai Inc. Because their little announcement did make me think a little bit about some other stuff. In addition to their streamers being able to do other forms of content, you know, as long as they still kept to their minimum of a 3-day stream week, it showed, I think, some good foresight from them right now. Now, they still didn't give any sort of information on when or what their auditions would be like, how soon that's even a possibility. So if you want to know more about their Vtuber company, you're gonna have to go on their Discord and ask them about that. But I do think they're an interesting comparison to someone like VShojo, who honestly I was kind of iffy about VShojo in the beginning, and I still kind of am, but not really anymore, because VShojo is such a weird like company if you think about it. They feel more like a Twitch group rather than a company. that's what it feels like, because each streamer is definitely their own content creator for like 100%. They're their own thing. They're like basically their own manager. They just essentially team up to promote each other. Like that's about it. They don't seem to have any like big contracts with each other. I guess their merch lines like bleed over a little bit now. So there's some of that stuff, which is interesting. But honestly, VShojo feels like one of the best VTuber companies out there right now. They're the most modern take on it. Yeah, to be fair, each streamer started from being an indie Twitch streamer, which I think is important. But that's also why I think they're just gonna be better than Hololive. That might be a hot take. That actually is a hot take. But like, their individual numbers aren't that far behind Hololive / Nijisanji. If like you compare like one of the generations to their group, but like it's because they don't have that restriction that they have the chance to just go bigger. It's weird. Hey, what's up, JV? How you doing? I am doing well, and I am hydrated. Yes, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. But yeah, just VShojo it's an interesting idea. And I really am curious to see if, as time goes on, they do some more collaboration stuff or tie their brands in together more closely. My voice seems a little different. I don't know. This is my normal voice. Nothing crazy about it today. Just drinking my water. Oh gosh, water's so good. But yeah, those are my thoughts about VShojo Hololive. I want to see what this next year brings. I also want to see if Hololive's going to start kicking into gear a little bit faster with like new waves and things like that, because Nijisanji doesn't seem to be pulling off the brakes anytime soon. They might though. Who knows? They might. I mean, granted, Nijisanji is also one to use the scattershot approach. That's for sure. Have I already heard of Alive? Of Alive? Alive? I have not. I don't know what that is. Is that another VTuber company? Alive, virtual YouTuber wiki. Alive is a Brazilian agency. Oh. Wait a second. Oh wait, never mind. One of them looked familiar. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I hadn't heard of them. Wait, did they already? What happened to them? None of their links work. Only, okay, I guess the official YouTube does. Huh, that's actually not too bad. That's interesting. I'll have to take a look at that off stream and see what their stuff is. That's interesting. My day's been good so far. Just working on a new video, and you know, we're chatting here, we're having a good time. Let's see. I actually have a notepad of stuff that I wanted to talk about. I was prepared this time. I'm not usually prepared for, you know, just sitting around and talking, but I was prepared today. That's a first. So we already talked about my thoughts about why VTuber agencies are so set on streaming. I still think it's weird. I think people are gonna have to adapt, but we have a lot of time to see what happens, you know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Who knows? Who knows? But another thing that I want to talk about is the concept of giving your image over to a company. It's something I haven't really thought about too much, but the more I look at Hololive, Nijisanji, even Isekai Inc., which hasn't even officially launched yet, it does bring up some interesting thoughts of people who leave the VTubing sphere are almost never heard from again. Now, granted, we're a very, very young industry, so like precedents are still being set all over the place. But it does seem kind of interesting that your character and all of your work is almost erased from the internet after you leave one of these companies. I do wonder a little bit why. If anything, it seems like it would be in people's best interest to let the content stay up, and like whatever small ad revenue is just split between you and the parent company, right? People could still go back and watch their favorite clips. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the parent company not wanting people to dwell on the past. So that's just an interesting problem. Now that was another big selling point from Isekai Inc. is that they mentioned on their Discord that they would be willing to work with people who wanted to leave after their year contract was up to essentially buy their stuff back, like basically buy back your content from Isekai Inc., which is that's an interesting concept in and of itself. Like me saying, hey, I worked for you for a year, we made some good money, but I'd like to try and go it alone now. Can I buy my model back? That's weird, but also good because no one else does it, and it's weird that no one else does it. Also, the first VTuber made her debut in 2016. Wow, that's 5 years ago. That's a long time ago. That's when I started streaming for the first time, and then promptly stopped streaming after like a year. That was a weird year. Oh, do you know what? We're gonna add a picture to our little desk here. We have a slightly updated picture. So there's our glorious Carl picture. You know, you guys know the one. But check this out. Check this out. We got we've got a new updated picture of our cat model. Don't see Carl in weeks. Hey buddy, come here. Carl. No. Okay, well, if he was in his corner, I could turn on the webcam and show you guys him, but he's not. And I look like crap today, so I'm not turning on my webcam. I'm sorry. You guys just have to deal with not seeing him. But what you can see is his VTuber form. You guys can see that. You ready for this? Boom. Oops, that's me. So he has been updated. He's getting there. Check it out. Boom. There's the Carl. I don't know when this is ready, but like it's looking really good. I just love that she was able to add in the little frills and stuff too. So now the real question is if I can get him to sit in front of a webcam, can we get a webcam to detect his face? Because if so, that's gonna be good. It's not gonna work for very long because he's just gonna like he's a cat, he's gonna run off. But turn it into a PNG and put it on your head. It is a PNG. I mean, I guess I could put it into VTube Studio and then pin it to my head, but that seems like a lot of work. Also, welcome Anon Husna. Happy Chug Jug to you, even though I don't play Fortnite. That will be the very first instance of an animal becoming a VTuber. Let's hope so. I don't know. Hey. Cat. Gosh dang it. Habanero's doing his little nursing thing again. Habanero's a big, he's a big kitten. He needs to stop it. Come on, buddy. He's not doing it as often anymore, which is good. But yeah, I really do want to see if I can get, even if it's only for a few seconds, the cat being an actual cat on stream. That would be so good, you know? It would be so perfect. The little one, he's doing okay. He's kind of turning into a little bit more feisty than, well, a lot more feisty than Carl. Let's be real here. He is way more feisty than Carl is by a lot. Like a lot. But, you know, he's still doing good. Also, welcome, Ketsweekin. How you doing? So yeah, that's just some model update with good old Carl. I think I showed this off on stream, but I learned how to do this, guys, and it's kind of awesome. All right, I'm gonna slip away for a second. We're green now. We green. I can change my outfit colors. Let's go. The detection software will probably not work on a cat. You're probably right, but it might. Who knows? RGB gaming coat. More specifically, I learned that you can just edit the PNG files in Live 2D, and it doesn't mess with any of the rigging. It just does this. So I know how to modify my coat now. Like, this is just a Photoshop filter. That's why it kind of looks a little ugly, but it works. Which means that, like, if I wanted to add little designs onto my coat and things later, I now know how to do it. I can also change my face and things like that, which also means that, like, if I wanted to, as a stopgap, I could color the base cat model that comes with it and change it into whatever color I want. So that was kind of a cool thing to learn. Isn't that right, buddies? The cats are settling into their we want to be in the same room as you phase, but we don't actually want to do anything. So they're just, I have a little cat tree right over here and another smaller one over here, and that's where they just kind of sit when they're bored, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they just stare at me, and then it's scary. They're just judging me. Not silently, they're just straight up judging me. It's fine though. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Isn't that right, buddies? Man, I need to wake up. Like I said, my sleep schedule this week is just 10 types of screwed. But that's okay. That's okay. Let's do a slight change of scenery, shall we? Let's go into the office. Oh wait, do I even have the office set up? Oh, I do. Hey, how about that? This scene still works. I didn't think this one would still work. Hold on, let's get a little bit bigger. Boom. Check it out. We got a desk and computer now. This scene is very bright. Like really bright. Same, your sleep schedule goes burr. Well, mine doesn't usually go burr. I'm actually pretty consistent with when I go to bed. It's just this week had a lot of late nights staying up and talking to my overseas team. Yeah, this one was just one that I put together for fun. I need to figure out, because I do like this one. I really do. This one was really fun. But I do need to make another one. I'm kind of sad that my other one got like just absolutely decimated because freaking Streamlabs decided to delete everything, and I still haven't recovered from it. But you know what? It is what it is. So, all right, buddies. Oh, they're being all cute. I love them. Freaking love my cats. They're so good. Oh yeah, that does remind me. We hit a new. I know I've been posting about this on Discord. By the way, if you haven't joined the Discord, you should. !Discord. But I know I posted about this on Discord, but we actually did hit another new milestone in terms of numbers. We officially hit 1,300 views over 2 days. That's the new record. So that's kind of cool. We've had a lot of fun stuff happening on YouTube these days. I think I'm actually starting to really set into my stride of like my style of content. I really do feel like I'm starting to get there. Though admittedly, it's because I've milked VTube Studio probably more than anyone else on YouTube has. I've done what, 6 videos on it now? Maybe even 7. something like that. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I need to start leveling up on the YouTube game, not just the Google search game. That's where our real problems start happening. Is we've tapped good old Google for everything they got. Oh man. But we've been doing good on YouTube as well, so it's really not bad. Oh, sorry, I just had to pop my neck a little bit. When you said Milk VTube Studio, it reminded me of the meme. Idea you can do next is resources like copyright. Yeah, that's actually that sort of is up next. The video that I've been thinking about doing the most is, well, okay, so you know, we're gonna enter into real talk territory for a little second. So I have a giant folder or a giant list of ideas that whenever I have a video idea, I just write it in there, so I don't forget it and I can come back to it later and look at it. And they're having a lot of ideas about like how to get started for free, how to do things for cheap, how to blah blah blah, XYZ, yada 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 yada. But all of them are focused around like 3D stuff, and unfortunately, as my own experience shows, no one really cares. It's sad, but it's true. So, but the problem is that a lot of the, like, so free resources like copyright free images and music and stuff like that, that's something that you can do. But there's also a lot of people who've already done it. So I'm trying to think of like, what is the way that I can add to a conversation? Hey, what's up, Andreval? Long time no see. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Well, I hope your day goes good, even though you can't stay for very long. But yeah, so you are right, Rando. That is a video I want to make. It's just I never like making videos that I feel like other people have made better, right? Like I don't just like let's actually take this the audition advice video that I'm working on right now. Like Hikaru made one, and Jusagi's made one, and a few other people have made them. But the only reason why I want to make that video is because I am talking about things that they didn't talk about. That's the only reason why I want to do it. And that's why I wanted to make my VTube Studio tutorials, is because while I'm not the best, I do think I've made very good videos for that. Better than the videos that were already out there. Now, there might be new videos that are better than mine. I haven't really checked, but when I made my videos, I genuinely believe that mine were among the best of that type. Oh gosh, that is a long channel name. Oh my gosh. Why, hello there. Wow, that is. How you doing, super sexy boing boing big opai nekomimi one-chan? How you doing? That is a name. That is a name. Wow. Oh gosh, that's pretty good one. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What was I even talking about? Sorry, your name just was, it was too distracting. I don't know how to, I don't know what to say here. I'm just, you know, oops. All right. Hold on. I gotta switch back. I forgot that my expressions are all messed up on that avatar, so I gotta switch back to this one. I mean, what am I doing, stepsister? Okay, enough of that meme. Okay, sorry. What was I doing? What was I saying? I don't know. What am I doing, guys? What was I doing? I was doing something. What was I talking about like 3 seconds ago? Something. Oh, video creation. Right. I remember. Don't worry. We're good. So yeah, that has been something I've been thinking a lot about, though, is like, where do I go from here? Because there's not any more VTube Studio videos to make, really. I mean, I could, but I feel like I'd just be beating a dead horse at this point. Like, not really just beating a dead horse. I could do more streaming advice type stuff, or just other opinion pieces. I don't know. I do like the idea of doing a more resource intensive video of, you know, like, here's the stuff that I use, here's free stuff that you can do, here's other stuff that, you know, you can use, here's how to do this for free. Stuff like that, you know, because that's good. But I still have a lot of ideas to get through before I really start reaching the bottom of the barrel. Like, I kind of want to do an interviewing VTubers video. I don't really know what I want to do with that. I just think it might be interesting. And then I had another fun one that this one would be kind of interesting, but also kind of cost me a little bit, because I don't know if I can get people to just talk about it. But because like, you guys have seen or know that I've made like a should you VTube or should you do whatever. I have a lot of should you do whatever style videos. But one of them, I kind of wanted to do a video of like asking around VTubers of like why they got started specifically VTubing. And then the video is kind of like a cut compilation of like a bunch of different perspectives of why people started. So that would be kind of interesting. Not really sure how I want to do that, though. There's another video idea also that I've been kicking around that I don't really know. I like the title, because that's what most of these are, just titles. But I haven't figured out how to turn it into like my own thought process. And the title is just "You Will Fail." I really like that as a video idea. I'm not really sure what to do with it, though. That's the problem with my giant video idea folder, is I have a lot of thoughts that sound interesting when I say them, but I don't know how to actually execute on them. But thankfully, that's kind of what time does for me, is if I write the video idea down and I keep seeing it, one day I'm just like, wait, I just had an idea on how to do this. Kind of like the video that we just did on the It Wasn't a Phase. That I've had that written down probably for like 5 months of just, what can I do with this? I know I wanted to do something with it, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And then on Thursday I was like, wait a second, I have an idea. And then I did it. That's actually generally how most of my video ideas start, is just writing a list and making the things that come to me as like, wait, I know how to do this now. because there's not many, and that's actually something I would recommend everyone do, because there's not actually that many wasted ideas that you're gonna have. It's just you might not be able to execute on them right now, and that's the point I want to get across. Is you can always come back to something later, you know. Oh, why is water so good? It's just the best. It's probably why I don't have a YouTube channel. I can't think of something to make videos for. You're feeling too sleepy to continue? Well, have a good night, Rando. Thanks for staying around as long as you did. Truly appreciate it. And I hope you have a good night. Man. You're about to type something, but I forgot. Hey, that's fine. You know, if I had thought about it, I would have. So I've actually been thinking about this for a little while. I don't really know how I want to pull this off, but I know that I could. But I do kind of want to start doing like turn my Saturday streams into like this chatting about things that happened during the week / videos I made or other events that have happened. But I also kind of want to start having like my friendos on here as well, as kind of like a podcast type thing. I don't know if I'm ready to set that up yet though, because that would require me to make like actual outlines of things that we could talk for about an hour about, you know. It would just be interesting because I have a bunch of friends who I feel like have some good like insights to things or differing opinions. Because I mean, you guys know me, I have very strong opinions, probably way too strong of opinions. But the thing about having strong opinions is like you do really need other people in your life that balance you out, because just coming from personal experience, if there's no one to temper you, there's you kind of just steam full force ahead on really weird and sometimes confusing ideas. But yeah, it's been something I've been kicking around just because, again, there like Hikaru and I talk probably the most currently out of VTuber friendos. I chat with Camille a lot as well, but other VTuber friends I don't really chat with. And and actually I can broaden that sphere. There's stream friends that I don't really chat with, which I like VTubing and stuff like this, but there's kind of a sentiment that runs around in the VTubing community that you're only really advertising to other VTubers. So yeah, I'm trying to just think of ways of branching out. Gotta go now, play some friends. Sorry for being here too long. Hey, well, thanks, you know, for being here for as long as you did. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you later, JV. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, also, for everyone who's here, you should check out Hikaru, the lovely mod in the chat. He's the one that we did the collab with this week. I need to make buttons like Camille does. That way I don't have to type out or look up people's channels again. I can just be like, yeah, Here's their channel. Go follow them. There we go. My brain just short-circuited for a little bit. This is what happens when I get tired, is I have trains of thoughts and then I jump tracks and then I don't remember how to get back to where I was. It's just kind of how it is. Oh well, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm not too worried. Yeah. So podcast might become a thing in, well, podcast style, not an actual podcast. That seems like more work than just having streamer friends come on, you know? Definitely seems like a lot more work, but it would be fun to get to kind of do some like themed stuff, you know? It's like Hikaru. Whoa. that was a weird, something in my throat there. I don't know what the heck just happened. Yeah, you could come on. I'm just saying for like future stuff. But like, because they're like, me and you, we can talk about YouTube forever. That's just something we can do. But it would also be nice to have like Camille on, who can talk about his experience with like some of the stuff he's been doing, because he's been growing crazy right now, like actually kind of insane. That they average like 40 viewers recently or something like that, which is crazy. Ever since they debuted, they've just been skyrocketing. It's awesome. They joined a Twitch team, but it's actually kind of interesting because what's going on with Camille, I've noticed a little bit, and this is true of anyone, but like they very suddenly got a lot more success than they were expecting, right? And I actually brought this point up in my video, which I didn't actually expect to see like a friend going through it like they are, of like all of us, you grew too fast almost. Not saying like they grew too fast, but like when you grow so much faster than you're expecting, it actually feels suffocating a little bit. Like you don't know what to do, right? I'm kind of a little glad that the growth that I've had right now has been pretty steady, because everything I've done for the most part I can attribute to like good decisions I've made. I haven't really gotten super lucky. Like I've had videos do very well, but like I haven't had something just absolutely explode. Like that kind of luck. Because I feel like if that happened, I would be a little, it's a little stifling. It's kind of scary actually. You know, if I made a video and like I woke up the next day at 10,000 views and it just grew, and like my channel all of a sudden got like another 2,000 subscribers because of that video. It's like, well, oh crap, do I just have to make everything like that now, or like what's going on? Like where do I go from here? You know, it's just, there's so much more pressure that you haven't been used to feeling, you know? Like for me these days, if a video, I have a great comparison, because this actually happened to me. So back in January, when I first started with YouTube Shorts, I had one short that blew up. For me, it blew up. It was like 25,000 views, Got 150 subscribers basically overnight, which at the time was double my YouTube subscribers. Just straight up double. And so I freaked out and I was like, oh, I guess I have to make more shorts. And so I cranked out shorts and none of them really did anything, like at all. And man, was that was a mental hit. Because like I had this one video that did so amazing. Like just so fantastic. And I couldn't recreate it. It was a one-hit wonder. It got me a ton of subs, but that's all it did. I couldn't figure out how to do it again. I spent like a couple of weeks making these short videos, trying to like recapture some of that fire, and I couldn't do it. And man, was that depressing. Like, holy cow, that was depressing. It was getting, that video got like 500 views an hour. It was ridiculous. It was just zooming. But man, that freaking sucked. Like success is a weird thing. If you're steady growth, it's so much better mentally, I feel. Because like now if something gets, 150 views a day, that would be my best video. Like that would be my best average video. I actually have my stats pulled up on my screen over here. Currently my best video is actually my how to use VTube Studio video, which I'm really happy about because I put a lot of effort into that. But that gets like 150 a day. If like I made something tonight that started getting 1,000 a day, I would that would be a struggle for me. Like 1,000 views a day is a lot for a small VTuber. It's nothing for like a big YouTuber, right? Like it would be huge for me. And I'd have to like mentally think like, okay, no, why did this work? What do I need to do? Should I just keep to the plan that I was doing? Like it's so much pressure. But that's the weird thing about streaming and YouTubing and just like content creation in general, is you can have something that just blows up. And that's how a lot of people grow. Is not many people will have like these slow, steady periods of growth for very long. They'll have like this small incremental growth and then something will work. One little thing will work and it just turns the dial up to 11. Because like even for me, that kind of happened with these tutorial videos of all things, right? I was like, back in the day, here's some fun history for you. We're gonna go to the beginning of 2021. This is the outside of the gigantic freaking spike of death, 5,300 views in a day from that one video. Jeez, that YouTube short, man, that was crazy. But outside of that one instance, after that short died and went back to normal, we were at 10 views a day. That's how small we were. Which was, admittedly, that was still actually kind of good for being primarily just streams. That was pretty good. I'm okay with that. And that was the beginning of February, right? So we started making more video content and we were getting up to like 15 views a day. Made some more videos, made more videos. And we still averaged around 15 to 20, even all the way through the end of February and into March, actually. I'm looking for when this actually took off. Oh, okay, yeah. So here's what happened. March 15th, which is 3 months ago, by the way. Almost exactly 3 months ago is when this all went down. That's when I posted my first videos about VTube Studio. up until this time, we were on a good day getting 15 a day. On a good day. After that, our average was 30, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. I literally doubled in like people that were coming, which is kind of interesting. So I'm like, huh. But you know, that wasn't such a huge range and a huge jump that it mattered a ton. But then, you know, a week after that, we were still doing, you know, we kind of went back down to like 20-ish. So we're still higher than we were, for sure. But we dropped down a little bit, definitely. And then we released the bombshell. We republished all the YouTube shorts. And now all of a sudden we're getting like 60 views a day. And that's where it's like, wait, what's going on? All of a sudden I would make a video that did better than my last 5 streams combined, that's kind of crazy to think about, actually. And then we posted some more VTube Studio stuff around the middle of April, which is a month. Now keep in mind, a month prior to that, we were doing like 15 views a day. In April, we were doing about 80, which is 4 times more plus some, almost 5 times, like 4 to 5 times more. Like we had grown in the space of 1 month 5 times our traffic rate, which is crazy. But that's where I started to really focus on VTube Studio, and it was still a good decision. But like, you can see why when something starts to take off, you start to feel a little constricted, because you get scared to try new stuff. And I still am, to that extent. I'm not immune to this. Even my little fun video that I did on Thursday, I was like, well, should I? You know? I don't know. Only time will tell. But yes, that was the middle of April. In the middle of May, we were doing like 100 a day. So not a whole lot of growth. But then you fast forward to frickin' today. The last few days have been over 600 average. Yeah, I almost didn't release that last video. I'm still trying to figure out whether I should have or not. So it's I don't know. Welcome, Kurumin Amino. How you doing? We're talking about analytics and things. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at today. If we compare today to 3 months ago, we're at you know, we're only at 20 times what we were. No big deal. No big deal. That's just kind of what explosive growth like can do. But it's like I said, success is so weird that like it can suffocate you. And I really feel like if you grow too fast, you just implode. Or at least I would. Not necessarily everyone else does, but having that level of pressure, I feel, is definitely something that you need to build up a tolerance for. Or else it just kind of consumes you and your creativity gets stifled. So overall, there's not much I would actually change about what I've done. I feel like I've done pretty good. Other than I would have stopped streaming sooner. I definitely would have done that. Outside of these like weekly streams that I do now, I would have made streaming my secondary focus instead of my primary. But who knows? That means that I might not have ever gotten a live 2D model. So everything kind of happens for a reason, I guess. Just kind of, I don't know, just interesting. Interesting what happens in the grand scheme of time. I also definitely would have not gotten as much 3D stuff as I did. It's really cool. It's really cool. I just look around at it and see it sitting there. Don't use it as often as I probably should or could. It's just kind of there. Yeah. Don't buy stuff you don't need, people. I know you can't see that I'm rubbing my forehead. Maybe you can. I don't know. But I've bought a lot of stupid crap over the years. So I will say that the one purchase that I felt like was kind of superfluous at the time was my mic setup, and I don't think I will ever regret buying this. The Yeti, I actually got to a really good point with how I could use it. Like, you can make the Blue Yeti sound really good. Like, really good. But man, is my new mic just so much easier to work with. Jeez. Cuts out so much extra background noise and just... like I said, the Blue Yeti, I actually got to a point where I was pretty happy with it. But I'm just really glad that I don't have to deal with it anymore. I still have it in case I ever need to like do a mobile setup or something, but I'm just glad that I don't have to work with it now. All right, we've been in this talk show scene for like forever. Let's transfer over to our lovely little Photoshop screen, shall we? Because we can, you know? It's me. We can hide the kitty. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? We're gonna go into this corner. Why not? We're over here today. Yeah, cool. We're gonna chill out in the left corner today. By the way, all these emote thumbnails that you've seen are made by the lovely Tad. Or I think they go by Unio on Twitch. They don't stream as much as they used to. I think they've shown up once or twice. If they show up in chat, I'll shout them out. But yeah, all these little chibis are made by Unio, and they are fantastic. Definitely one of the artists that I've enjoyed working with the most. Let's see. What was I even working on? That's a good question. Oh yeah, there's that thumbnail. Why did I have a black screen? I don't know. Let's open up our lovely, lovely blank canvas, shall we? Let's talk about... Sure, why not? The new video we're working on. That sounds like fun. Some of the weird tips that I'm going to be throwing at you. Come here, monitor, please. Tablet, get over here. Thank you. Scooch down. Thank you. All right. Oh wait, now I need my freaking pen. The only thing I don't like about having my Wacom where it is that it's kind of a pain to move around sometimes. Okay. We got to put on our fancy little glove here so we don't smudge up our screen all to hell. Man, this music is so good. All right. Put you back down. Thank you much. We're gonna do this. And then we're going to plop you over here. Bada bing. Oh, and now I need to move YouTube chat over here or else I can't see it. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay, cool. We are good. So, welcome everyone to today's learning lesson held by yours truly, Rayless. I don't know why I decided to go with like an old man voice there, but I did. So we're just gonna roll with it, you know. I mean, I guess it's better than like one of my other weirder voices I could do. Like, hi guys, today we're gonna be talking about Nijisanji. I'm sorry. Don't leave, please. Sorry, that stupid voice makes me laugh. I love it. What's up, cats? They're just chilling. They're cool. So yeah, we have these I don't know, we're doing like 5 to 7 weird tips for the audition, something like that. So the number one we started off with is actually probably the most normal. It's talking about confidence. Now that it seems like kind of a weird tip, but like people don't seem to recognize just how important this is and how there are so many ways of expressing it. Like you can show your confidence in both your video and written formats for like any sort of audition you're doing. You can, as someone who's done a lot of applications and like hired people, it's really easy to tell when someone is like excited, ready, willing, and more importantly thinks that they're actually going to get the job. It sounds hard. It's a little hard to describe. I'm going to do a better job of it in the video that I'm working on. Because it's the difference between me doing this ad lib kind of like how I'm doing it now. Oh, what the heck was that? Oh, the freak just threw into my throat. Oh, so like a fly or something? What the heck was that? Oh, that feels gross. Something just flew into my mouth and I swallowed it and I have no idea what it was. Ugh. But I'm not happy at the prospect of what it could be. Holy cow. 1 second. I gotta blow my nose as well. Seriously, what the heck was that? I have no idea what I just swallowed, but whatever, we'll just go with it. So yeah, anyways, back to confidence. Like, it's the difference between me doing this ad lib and me having a script that I'd be like reading off to you guys. That's kind of the difference. Number 2 was our weird dress up tip. Again, it's like a psychological thing. If you feel like you're dressed for the job, you kind of act like it. Like you act like you're going to get the job. It's weird, but it works. This is probably one of my favorite ones, just because I know it's something that no one else has mentioned, but it's a real thing. It really is. Number 3 is actually one that Hikaru kind of talked about, but I'm putting a different angle on it. I'm going into, that's research in a more focused manner. Like there's research about like seeing what the job is, what people are, but this is more talking about the application questions and talking about like there's kind of a way that you can get a feel for how people act in a company based on how they present themselves to the public. And you can kind of pick up on their lingo, on their mannerisms, on like the general vibe that people are going for. We'll just take Nijisanji as the example because, you know, they're the ones we're talking about. If you look at a lot of their livers, they all fit into kind of this little mold. It's not like super set because there's plenty of room to play around inside of it. But let's specifically look at Lazu Light, the Nijisanji English Wave 1. They all are cutesy anime girls who are good at memes and have higher pitched voices. And they all kind of talk in a sort of similar-ish manner. Not that they're all the same, because that's not true by any means, but you can see why they're all close in terms of like their mannerisms, their how they talk about things, the way they do things. Like, now part of that is probably Nijisanji's influence, but you can kind of get a feel for what they're going for. I think this is really important for the female applicants because Nijisanji already has posted the pictures, the VTubers you are applying for. So that's just something I'm bringing up. I'm not talking about this one for too long. It's just kind of there. Number 4 is I have to look at my own script that I wrote. I can't remember the order I did these in. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up. Oh yeah, number 4. I know someone said it somewhere, but like I'm saying it again because I can. Don't procrastinate. Hold on, I gotta re-pull up my chat or else I can't see it again. There we go. And the reason why I say don't procrastinate is because it adds pressure to yourself. Pressure does a lot of things for a lot of different people, but I feel like in general, pressure kind of kills creativity sometimes. Because when you need to get something done instead of want to get something done, you make different decisions. And that's why I think not procrastinating is just so important. Even though it's number 4 on the list. These aren't in any particular like order of importance. It's just something I think that people should be aware of. The number 5 that I've got so far is know the company, which kind of ties in with number 3. These two are very closely correlated. But more specifically, know the company when answering questions. And what I kind of mean by that is on their application, they want you to talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, what were happy moments while streaming, what were sad moments while streaming, and just some other, in general, like self-promotion, other things. Telling Nijisanji that you're proud that you recently climbed a mountain, they're probably not going to care about. Telling them that you've grown your viewership by 200% over the last 4 months is something that they will care about, even if you went from like 1 average viewer to 4. Like, this is an accomplishment. This is a big accomplishment. That shows that even though you're small, you had whatever skills it required to grow yourself. So that's what I mean when I'm tying this in, is always make sure your answers are within the umbrella of what you're trying to get out of this interview / application / whatever. Because even things like weaknesses can really just end up being strengths, and if phrased the correct way. You know, I think the most stereotypical one is like saying, oh, I just care too much about my job and da 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 da, and things like that. Gargara just said, she got 2 million views. Hello, Suki Karai, Florian Carta, welcome. Suki, that's a little bit of an oversimplification. Just a little bit. Gargara had a lot of stuff going for her. Like, being the first wave of Hololive in the US, plus all the promotion and all that other stuff, and her first moment being just you know, it's just relatable, I guess, in a way. But Gura's interesting. Gura definitely wouldn't be where she is unless she understood a lot of things. Like, people can harp on Hololive all they want, but at the end of the day, to keep anyone entertained, you have to have skills. Like, even if you start super strong, like, you have to have the skills to continue on. I mean, she was pretty well known before too. I actually don't know too much about Gargara's previous history. I just look at what happened since she became a VTuber. That's what I look at least. Yeah, because the promotions from a company like Hololive, so they could easy to get the subs. Yeah, but subs don't really mean anything on YouTube. Like, they mean a little bit, but I think what's more important is your ability to continually bring in new people. That's almost what's more important. Is like, even if you only had, well, you know, 50,000 subs, if every video you posted got 1 million views, you're way more successful than the guy who has 1 million subs and only gets 50,000 views, you know? Like, views are king on YouTube. That's just kind of how I view it. view. Anyways. Yeah, it's easy to get subs. It's harder to keep them. It's because it's so easy to unsubscribe as well. Like, I'm pretty sure you can just click the button whenever you feel like it. And people do, you know, if occasionally you'll see like a video that who used to be your favorite content creators posted, and you'll just unsubscribe. It's just what it is. You know, VTuber girl, like waifu plus gamer plus fan service. I think that's also not quite fair. Like, sure. Okay, do you know what? We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this. I have thoughts about this. We'll come back to this in a minute, I promise. But we're gonna talk about this. Of course, all men will spend a lot of money on them. That's not really true and or fair. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. I'm gonna do VTuber fans, VTubers. No, actually, hold on. Let's take a look at what we'll call the fan service VTuber. Now, this isn't me just outright defending them. But I do think that there's a lot of things that people don't think critically about when it comes to the fan service VTubers. That's actually, ooh. I like Florian's. I like Florian's better. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. The VTuber fan versus the live 2D. I'll use the word enthusiast, shall we? The live 2D enthusiast. There we go. I like that. I like that terminology or that phraseology. That's good. So the thing, this is kind of a realization I came to a little while ago. Is what do you think of if I say VTuber? Like, what is your gut knee-jerk reaction of what image pops into your head? For me, it's a cute anime waifu. I think that's probably true of most people in this chat. Welcome, Rudnum. Like, VTuber and this definition are pretty linked up. Like, there are some people who think of like, oh, it's just someone who has an avatar, or other people that are like, oh, well, it's probably like a cute avatar. But what the definition is usually not is me. Like, I would not be the first thing you think of if someone said VTuber. I'm a guy. I just do what I do. I'm not particularly cutesy. I'm not trying to be really anime. I'm just doing it because it's fun. You know, like, I am not the typical or what you would think of as standard VTuber. Like, you're going to be thinking of these cute anime waifus. That's just what everyone thinks of. Now, this isn't bad. It's just kind of what things are. Now, the issue is that this part right here, by its very nature, kind of lends itself to, I'm going to start listing off tropes. Oh God, Twitter. No one on Twitter better come at me for this. But there's the ara people. There's the high-pitched voice people. There's the I just use a female avatar people. Oh yeah, there's the step on me people. We can't forget them. Step on me people. The sexual innuendo people. The I just use a female avatar people. Oh yeah, femboy, right? The femboy people. Femboy. Oh, what are some other good stereotypical ones? I actually agree with that statement, Rudnam. I agree with that statement. Well, I don't know if the male VTubers are bigger. I think it's just different. But so we've got all these tropes. Oh, I just use a female avatar because it's cute. We're gonna put cute in parentheses, people. Isn't Kuzuha the biggest Niji liver? He might be. And so I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna get into this. I promise. So we have all these tropes. Let me actually move myself over to the other side of the screen. There we go. Boom. So we have all these tropes. Now none of these are particularly bad. You know, I'm not gonna like demonize or call out anyone. It's just there's a lot of this that happens. Again, it's nothing wrong. It's just, you know, it's just kind of what happens. It's not a big deal. However, something that does kind of happen is all of these tropes, like all of them, lead back into the overarching cute anime waifu picture. Like all of them. They all link into this idea. And the other issue with this is anime has a tendency to do a few things. We're gonna remove this category for a second. We'll open up a new screen with this. We have entered the realm of anime tropes. Big booba. I think we can all agree that that's a thing. Overly sexualized. And yeah, you know, we'll replace overly sexualized with just lewd. Lewd. So there's kind of this category, or there's the other category of I'm cute, I'm innocent. There we go. Oh yeah, sure, being lewd is a skill. Like, again, I am not demonizing these. I'm just saying that when you get into like the anime category, it seems like people only fall into one of two categories. They don't, because there's more, but like these are kind of the two categories that I see the most often. Now the problem is that the same people who like this and like this have a lot of money. Being into anime is not a cheap hobby. I think we can all agree that. Like, if you're actually buying anime stuff is not cheap, and neither is being a VTuber. This crap's expensive. Like, so people who are into this sphere, that this isn't always true, but in general, have money that they want to throw at things. And the more lewdish people, the more say-so people, like, they get money thrown at them. That's just what they do. There's nothing really wrong with it, but like, man, it just happens. It happens a lot. Yeah, we do need more innovation. That's for sure. But like, even within this, we're gonna open up another tab here real quick. So everything on this screen, before we swap over, this is what I would classify as a large subset of VTubing culture that just does this without doing anything else. A lot of people can coast by on this stuff, but I do want to bring up a few examples here. Japan knows how to attract the world to watch animation. Sometimes that might not logic, but still a lot of people watching and waiting for the next season or series. Yeah, I mean, they tell good stories. I'm not gonna try and fight that. They tell good stories, you know. Just good. But yeah, okay. So we have this, which has a lot of the stereotypical stuff that if people only just do this, like if you're content is based around I'm a femboy. That's it. That's I feel like you're detracting from yourself if that's your only quality. Like, sure, if you want that to be a big portion of your personality, that's fine. Great, more power to you. Go be you. Go do things. But like, a lot of people focus on individual aspects here. Like, oh, I just like saying RR a lot. Oh, I just am high pitched. Oh, I just use a female avatar but don't do anything else different. I have the step on me vibe. I do sexual innuendo. I'm a femboy. I have big booba. I do lewd. I'm just cute. Like, there's all this stuff that it's not a problem by itself, but like, I have issue with it when it's all you are. Now I'm gonna throw up some people. Now, whether you like her or not, Iron Mouse is a pretty good example of someone who exemplifies a lot of those qualities that we just talked about, but also tries to innovate on stuff. She does other stuff. Like, whether or not you like her actual content and her actual personality, she has a lot of varying content. She's always innovating, working with other people and doing a lot of other stuff. And this is the part where, like, I feel like a lot of people get hung up, is they see Iron Mouse for the traits that we just described earlier. Oh gosh dang it, get my thing off there. They see all these traits, and that's assumed that's all that's going on, but and keep in mind, it's easy to get stuck here. I think it really is easy to get stuck here, because a lot of people don't really want to look past the surface level. But like, you can't just stop there. You gotta do other forms of content. You gotta vary. You gotta do some other stuff. And I think that's where the problem with the VTubing sphere is everyone's stuck on that last page, and they're not willing to do this stuff, like varying their content, innovate, try other stuff. Another great example of this is actually, and I don't actually really like her content, but I can respect what she did, and that's Snuffy. I don't think her content's bad or anything like that. It's just not quite my cup of tea. Because Snuffy actually is a perfect example of fake. So she faked her voice for a long time. She faked the cutesy anime voice and a bunch of other tropes, and then she swapped to her real voice and real personality and kind of exploded. And yeah, her growth has been like crazy recently. She's zooming. And I don't know, that's just something that I think is a problem with VTubers as a whole, is everyone gets caught up on these stereotypes. Something, no one cares about content. Fans just watch them for 2 hours or above. Casual watchers. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, is honestly, like, if you're looking for the big booba whatever streamers, you can find them and you're gonna watch them, and if that's all you wanted, then yeah, that's what you get. You're gonna get hung up on this page because that's all you wanted to see. But the reason why people really succeed is all this other stuff, you know, the varying content, the innovating stuff, improvement. Because this holds people's attention for like a week, and then they move on. Because there's always going to be someone who does this, but more extreme. There will always be someone who one-ups this style, because it's easy. It's easy to just take this but do it more crazy. Like, I think, well, okay, there's a new person on the block that I'm not going to call out because I will definitely get lambasted on Twitter if that clip ever makes it there. But also, welcome, my whole point. How you doing? But like, it'd be like if Gargura all of a sudden swapped to like a more mature looking model. Like, the internet would lose its shit for like a week, and then someone else would just do it more. That's what would happen. You know, that's just what would happen, is people would go absolutely insane for like a week until someone new did it crazier. And yeah, it's power escalation with Booba. That's exactly what it is. That's just what would happen, you know? But this kind of, oh, wow, voice crack. Jeez, what the heck happened there? But this kind of stuff, this is the stuff that actually grows you and stays consistent. Because, you know, like you said, is the surface level stuff that's always going to pull in people. That's just a thing. There's a reason why, like, if you're really good looking or you have a good model, people will check you out, if for no other reason, just out of sheer curiosity, you know? But this other stuff, this is what keeps people there, is because, and that's actually the original reason why I got this model in the first place. Because my 3D model, while I liked it, is, you know, he's there. He's a model. He's not particularly great. I want to redo him one day, but the reason why I spent so much money on my main model is because I know what I'm competing against. Like, I am competing against this crap, and again, crap being used in frustration. No one dare clip me saying that I'm calling people who do this stuff crappy. I will hunt you down till the ends of the earth. Because I understand people who just want to play the game, right? Like, I know what I'm competing against. If I didn't have at least this good of a model, there's a lot of people who wouldn't even give me a chance to get in the door. Now, I choose to focus on this stuff, but I had to play the VTuber game just a little bit to even get in the door. That's something I had to do. And it's kind of frustrating. But now we're going to get to the other point that I think is really important with all this other stuff that puts a lot of it into context. I'm going to open up one more new sheet. We're going to call, let's see, we're going to make a little graph here. We're going to try and make this graph straight. There we go. So we're going to call this we're going to call this potential. So the farther along you get on this line is the more potential you have. Each VTuber have their own original song. I think, yeah, that was something that was a great move by Hololive, and I hope they continue to keep doing that, because that's what sets them apart, is the other content they do outside of streaming. And this might be a hot take, but none of the Hololive streamers are really that unique or special. I'm sorry. There are lots of other streamers who do way more unique stuff. That make live streams really unique. Hololive doesn't really do that. Hot take, I know, but it's their other stuff that makes them special. This hot take brought to you by Rayless. So we're going to say, oh, I think my music finally cut out because I've been alt tabbed from it for forever. Yep. Called it. So we're going to call this line potential. We're going to put in the, we're going to put, let's see, actually, do I need to do it the other way? I don't know. We'll make the graph and then remake it to make it more sense. So we're going to call this the standard VTuber, which is based off of this other page that we said. We're going to go with I'm gonna call it a content creator aspect. So this would be people like Iron Mouse, Neanners, Zentraya, even a lot of the VR chat community. Basically, people who just make other. They don't just stream; they make other content. VTuber, I feel like, is almost synonymous with the word streaming at this point. I just don't feel like the VTubers have that much potential. They kind of do this. They start off strong because everyone does this big debut and it's so special and everyone shows up and you get tons of views and it's just, you have a great time and you get hundreds, if not thousands of viewers. You get a huge channel to start with and da 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 da. And then everyone goes away because the next person debuted. Sound familiar? Like, to anyone? And all the time? Like, all the time? All of it? Forever? I have many thoughts about debuts, but mine was, I got my model and was like, guys, I'm debuting it tomorrow because I was already streaming. Now, content creators are interesting. Actually, I need to put content creators below them because this is you see lots of greenhorns on Twitter hype it up, and then even once they debut, until they get X amount of fall. Oh, and then they want to fall. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. I kind of think that idea is hilarious. Like, okay, real talk. Can we talk about model reveals? I get the idea, but I also feel like you kind of have to be a certain size before you can do that, right? Like, if you have, like, 10,000 followers, like, sure, you could do a model reveal because you're not really risking anything, right? Like, if you have 10,000 people are like, hey guys, I'm not going to reveal my model until we get 100 likes on this post, you're going to get 100 likes on the post. Like, you are. Now, hold on. Okay. Why are you basing something you want to do off of other people? That's such a weird. But okay. Okay, we gotta talk. We gotta talk a little bit. So, the fact that you put your own model, your own like debut, everything on other people makes no freaking sense. That'd be like me saying, hey guys, I'm not gonna reveal anything new until I get 500 subscribers. Like, I can't control when you guys subscribe. I can't control when you guys unsubscribe. Like, I have literally zero control over anything you guys do. Why would I base any of my decisions on that? That makes no sense. Right? Like, why would I make any content creation decisions based on whether or not you guys subscribe? Like, that makes no sense. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you can look at likes and things to help guide where you're going with content, for sure. But you can't you can't let Twitter, of all things, decide when you get to debut. That's just so weird. I say that even though I have friends who are all about that, and I just don't get it. Like, I'm of the opinion you gotta just do it, right? Like, your debut is mostly for you anyways. So like, just do it when you want to do it and make it the way that you want to, because that's what's gonna matter in the end. Whatever. I have a lot of opinions about that. That's kind of why I do things the way that I do. It's just like, I will absolutely take input from y'all for sure on like stuff. And I look at my analytics, I look at what you guys do and don't like when I, you know, and like if I make a video and you're like, well, maybe you should not make that video anymore. It's like, okay, well, maybe that was a bad idea. But that, I'm not gonna stop myself from making it in the first place, right? Like, just like, hey guys, I'm gonna make this video, but only if you like it a bunch. It's like, I don't know, just do it. Just make stuff, and people may or may not like it. I mean, I made a quote unquote video game at one point in time, and the internet decided to let's just say that I thought I was an artist, and the internet was very, 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 very quick to inform me that I should reconsider that wording. Oh, it was bad. Bad day. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I understand the desire to make your debut a huge thing. Like, you want to be important. I get it. You really do. Everyone does. The reason why you're streaming, the reason why you're doing content creation is because you want to be important. Like, among other things, like everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants all the views. Everyone wants to make a living off of it. Everyone wants to do all this, and this. Like, it is harsh, but like, I understand, like, you want to be important. Everyone does. I do. Like, I'm not exempt from this. Everyone wants that special moment where the internet focuses only on you and in a positive way. Everyone wants that. Oh yeah, the internet. Oh no. There's a stream, if you want to go look at it. It's unlisted, but it's in the playlist. It's called I Made a Book in a Game. I think I show some of the comments where it's like, oh, what was the worst one? The worst one was like, this guy's obviously never played a video game and should go back to learning how to use paint or something, like finger paints or something like that. It was bad. Now, granted, I was pretty bad. Also, welcome to Blur. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, but currently we're talking about VTuber debuts. But yeah, so like everyone wants that special moment, and the problem is this. Okay, so here's the real talk of what I think the problem with debuts is, or debuts are, is for most people, you spend a lot of time preparing your debut stream. I say most people because I sure as heck didn't. But like, some people put like literal months into this, where they have custom graphics, they have custom animations, custom music. They have this whole story planned out for the stream and how it's going to go and all of this other really awesome stuff, right? But what's the point of doing that if you can't do it again, right? Like, I know you want your debut to be special, but streaming isn't about one stream. Like, if that's what you want to do, is be a streamer, you can't have one stream define your whole career. That's just a a way to fast track yourself into oblivion. Like, if you start off so high, you can only go down. No one could do a debut level stream the way that some people do it every stream. That's just not gonna happen. And then they get depressed when their numbers go down. Like, of course they went down. It'd be like me spending 200 hours on a video where I really poured my heart and soul into it and made everything the best that I possibly could. And then next week I pump out a video that took me 4 hours to make. Like, that's the difference in quality we're talking about here, you know? Like, I get that you want to make your debut the craziest thing ever, but it's such a double-edged sword. So make your debut special, sure, but don't hype it up to yourself to oblivion, you know, because that's just a one-way ticket to getting super disappointed and soul crushed a little bit, I think. I mean, hell, it happened to me. Here, I'm going to show you guys my I think my debut stream is still technically the best stream I've ever done. Like my original debut stream, which was back with 3D model. That was a long time ago. See, I'm just looking it up here. I think my debut live stream was the best. Okay, so it's technically not the best by 3 views. And that's only because I did a 10-hour stream and that topped it. So it took me streaming for literally 10 hours to top a 4-hour stream. And I still have never had a stream perform better than that, even to this day. And I'm literally, not figuratively, literally 10 times my size. If that's not food for thought, I don't know what is. Like, we're 9 months in. We have more subscribers and more general views than ever, and I still can't beat the debut stream. And I didn't even do anything crazy for it. That's the really messed up part. I didn't do a lot. I just kind of did the bare minimum to make it work. And like it yeah, I don't know what I can say beyond that. Like, that's the weird power of debuting. But then again, that was also back before there were 1.5 million VTubers. But yeah, I don't know. I just think debut culture is a little weird. No other streamer does that. Here, I'm gonna make myself a little bit bigger because I can. Why not? Just a weird culture. But that's why debuts are weird. So yeah, so VTubers get to start off all this high and then they slope down, and then like given enough time where they kind of figure out where they are, they can start to come back up, because you start to make stuff that's more consistent and quality than your debut was, right? Like, over time you get more skills, you get more talent, you get a whole bunch of other stuff that lets you kind of transcend that gap. But I think this right here is where so many people die. Is you see, and here's the other thing. This is like 6 months to a year. I feel, is where this like trough kind of sets in. You see it a lot. You ever kind of notice how a lot of VTubers recently have been quitting after like 6 months to a year? I've noticed it a lot. I'm sure other people have noticed it, right? Like, I can't be alone here. But there's a lot of graduations going on. Just saying. And it's all around this time period. And like this time period isn't just like, it's not only 6 months to a year, but like there's a time period for every person that I've seen so far, that I've watched, that goes through this transition where they start off strong, they get super weak, but then right here at rock bottom is where you finally start to make a change. Because up until this point, you are so certain that you can just keep on doing what you've been doing and watch yourself just plummet into the ground, that the next stream is going to turn around. No, the next stream. No, the next stream. No, the next stream. And then you hit rock bottom, and then one of two things happen. You either change or you die / give up. Once you make a change and you start to realize that change is good, you start to go back up a little bit. Because, and this period might last for a while before it starts to come back up. Like, you might be stuck at 0 for a long time because you realize that your original gimmick isn't gonna carry you because everyone else has their gimmick. And that's how I think a lot of people see VTubing as, is a gimmick. Gimmicks only last for so long. You can't just be a VTuber. It's like being just a person who plays League of Legends on stream. That's not unique. You have to be something else. You have to do something else. You have to provide value to other people to make them want to watch you. That can come in a lot of forms, but generally, just your debut and the things that you did with it don't lead you to long-term success. And I'm still in this process, so, you know, take my ramblings with a grain of salt, but I can only comment that the changes I have made have been very positive. And I hope that they continue to be positive. And if they're not, I'm gonna have to change again. That's just kind of how things work. Like, I have to evolve. I have to adapt. But I think that this long period of nothing happening is where a lot of people give up. And the problem is when you're already on a downward slope, it becomes so much easier to just stop, or to take a long hiatus, or to do a lot of these other things that people do. And I just think this happens a lot with VTubers. Because VTubing, for a lot of people, including myself for a time, was like a way to get popular without actually having to doing anything. In my case, I actually wanted to do it several years ago. I just didn't have the setup to do it or the money to do it. So I was a little better off than some people. But even then, like, people saw it as it's like hot tubs. Oh, that I hadn't even thought about that until right now. It's like the hot tub stream meta on Twitch, right? Like, Amaranth and Indie Fox started doing it and made like absolutely ludicrous amounts of money. And then everyone else hopped on, and sure, it was still successful for some people who got on it early. But like, as more and more people did it, it was just a thing that was there. It wasn't special anymore. It was just there. And I say special very loosely. Well, like, think about it. If you were someone other than Amaranth or Indie Fox to do it, like, if you beat them to it, you would have had a huge surge in views and subscribers and everything. Like, you would have had a massive surge. Or like if you beat them to the ASMR thing they're doing now, or whatever other thing they're doing, right? Like, if you're the first one there, you can get away with not being the most impressive just because you were the first one there. I'm sure someone's gonna hate me for making that analogy, but you know what? Whatever, it is what it is. VTubing is hot tubbing. just virtual hot tubbing. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. I like it. But yeah. The other, so back to this graph. I know I like went on a super mega tangent of death. I actually don't even really remember what we were originally talking about, but this content creator thing, it kind of does this as well. You start off as a nobody, and sometimes like you get really interesting, like you have such a good idea that you get to start off here. But again, the similar sort of thing happens. Like if you're a YouTube creator, which is what I would consider myself these days, more than I am like, I'm a YouTuber who is also a VTuber rather than a VTuber who is also a YouTuber. That's the differentiation I would make. If I started off with something that exploded, which I did, by the way, which was that YouTube Shorts that some people were here talking about earlier, I had a massive like woo boost from one video. 150 subs, 4 days, I think is what it was. It was like 2 to 4 days, which at the time I had 110 subs, so I more than doubled in 4 days, you know? And then I didn't know what to do, and I tried to make other stuff like this, and we just went right back down. We crashed hard. And so that's almost the same as this. Like that was like a debut for me. Woo, we did it. I made a really good video that got a lot of views. Yay! I didn't know what to do after it though, so I crashed. I crashed hard. Sucked. And that's my analogy for debuts as well. So you have the one thing that takes off, but then you don't know what to do, like to do it again and to make it better. And so you just crash. But what's funny is this content creation point start is really like the same point here. This is just this is just this, but like 6 months from now. For most people who start VTubing. That's how I view it. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I, as you may or may not have guessed, I have a real big problem with debut culture. Maybe it's because I just don't get it. I'm an old man, I guess. I don't know what these young whippersnapper kids are doing on my lawn. But it just seems counterintuitive. If you can't do it twice, you're gonna fail at doing it once. Or sorry, I can't remember what the exact quote is, but it's like, if you can't do something twice, you'll fail after doing it once, or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote, but that's kind of the moniker I live by these days, is if something does well, could I realistically do that again? And that's why my tutorials kind of worked, is because I made the one, saw that it did well, but I know why it did well and how to do it again, and then I did it again, and then that video did well, and then I did it again and that video did well. And so they don't always do as, like, some don't always do as good as others, but the point is I'm at a state right now where if something does well, I have the confidence and skills to do it again. Because I know what I did to make it the thing that it is. And I just don't think you can do that with debuts very well. There's just way too many factors going into it. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just an old man. Maybe I just like sounding like I'm important and talk. I mean, I definitely do that. But I'd like to think that most of my advice is based in reality. Hey, what's up, Wolfen? How you doing? Repeatable process is definitely a good word for it. It doesn't even have to be the same thing though. Like if, like let's say, the little the little video I made on Thursday, like for whatever reason that did insanely well, right? The point is I know I could do that again. I could make something of that similar quality again. And that's just where I have to be mentally to be in such a good mental space. Because like I said, everything I can do, I could make something at least as good as it again, at least by my own standards. You know, the internet's going to do whatever the internet's going to do, and they can decide whether or not something is or isn't actually worth their time. But as far as my own standards, I can remake any of my videos up to my new standard and feel good about it. And to me, that's just fantastic. I feel really good about that. There's definitely something to be said about the initial boost you get from a debut. It entirely depends on your own skill level, Wolfen. Because your initial boost can be good. But my problem is with how it's generally used, which is just to hype yourself up to crazy levels. Most people can't follow their debut with anything even remotely close to the same level of quality, which is bad. Like I know all the VTubers embrace the, you know, we're all scuffed, we're all this, we're all that, we're all that. But like it's just a matter of quality, right? We're gonna open up another tab here. Well, we'll make this the debut tab. So we'll say that this is, we'll make this quality. I love my charts, just in case you didn't know. We'll say this is debut. This is stream 2. This is number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure, let's do that. If your debut is up here, like whoop, your debut is super hype, super good. You did a lot of fun stuff. And then your next stream is, I don't know, let's take a real life example. I'm not going to name the creator, but we're just going to look at what they did as their first stream after their debut. And this will be a prominent one. So what was the first thing they did after debut? It was a just chatting stream, and then another chatting stream, and then another chatting stream. Okay. Yeah, that's about what I thought. So the next stream, you know, let's because debut streams always seem to be a little short, which I think is a good thing, by the way, because it keeps people's attention throughout the whole thing. Good process. But let's say stream number 2 is like down here, you know, it's a chatting stream. You're talking about your debut, how thankful you are, da 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 da. Generally, this is still what we're gonna call this quality / hype. There we go. Because quality can mean a lot of things, but hype is also a good term for it. So, you know, stream 2, you go down here, and you know, it's still a good stream. You're like, everyone's still kind of excited. Stream 3, you still don't quite know what you're doing, but it's still okay. this is like we're gonna call this the honeymoon period. Everyone's still kind of hype because you're brand new. You're figuring things out. It's fun to watch people figure things out. That's a real thing that people really like doing. They like seeing like, oh, even though you're so big, you're so new, haha, you're innocent, da 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 da. And then stream 4 comes around, stream 5 comes around, stream 6 comes around, stream 7 comes around, and that initial hype, yeah, it can make you start at a higher baseline, but you still have to, going back to this graph, it just means that when you fall off from your debut, you're not quite at rock bottom, you're like up here instead, which is great for making getting the start going. But I also think it's also really damaging mentally and really difficult to get over. Like Hololive took almost 6 months for them to get their numbers up back even close to where they were after they debuted. That's how stark the contrast of difference was. After 6 months, we looked at this earlier. I can pull it up again if we need to. Gura was on a downward slope since October, which is when she debuted, until May. That's how long it took for this curve to come back into a play and have her start going upwards again. Now, if you're a corporate VTuber and things like that, like Nijisanji or Hololive, where you do have that kind of backing, that's why most of them can stick around, is because they have the means to support themselves while it turns around. If you're a solo VTuber or indie VTuber, that is soul crushing, because you can't help, and again, this is coming from my own personal space as well, you can't help wondering, like, why what did I do wrong? Why can't I get back to where I was? Like, if your first stream is your best forever, man, that sucks. And so that's why I think debuts are a problem, is because you don't have anything else to base it against. You've created your magnum opus as your first thing and you can never get back to it. And that sucks. Now, for people who've been streaming in debut, I think it's very different, because when they go back to reset to that level, they'll probably be above where they were. So like, let's go over here. One more new tab because we can. So if you're a current streamer and you've been kind of like this, let's say you debut and then reset, you're probably going to be at a slightly higher level than you were before. And this is because you already have a backlog of content that establishes who you are and what you do. And for normal people that aren't part of a big group, I think that's the healthiest way of doing it, because if you just debut, no one has any idea what happened in this area. Like, they have no idea what kind of person you are, who you are, or anything like that. But if you debut after having streamed for a little bit, sure, your debut might not be quite as hype as someone who has had no streams or nothing before them, because the internet, because you get to go wild with imagination of like, oh, what is it going to be like? What are they going to do? What kind of things are they going to do? Da 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 da. And yeah, it's a little bit more boring to be able to just like rewind a little bit and be like, oh, they've been around for a while. But at the same time, you gotta know what they're like. So you get this really hype event that lets people see everything you've already done. And if people know what you've been like, they'll probably know what you're going to be like and be more likely to stick around. That's why I think people who do it this way actually have a little bit more of a slope down rather than just a drop. Something kind of like that, where overall this new trajectory, this was their old trajectory, this is their new one. Like, you're still better off than you were before, because this is, to me, this is similar to working on a big project that like you really are proud of and you feel really shows off who you are. It's just a different mentality to it, I guess. I don't know, that was a very long and convoluted answer, but there you go. There's your answer. Hopefully I didn't put you to sleep. I get really rambly. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. A masterpiece rather than a firework. That's a really good way of putting it. You know, I actually thought of another way of thinking about it. Yeah. To me, huh. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like cooking when you don't know what you're doing. You could accidentally make something great, but if you write down the recipe, you can do it every time. I don't know. But yeah, that's just kind of the stuff we're talking about. But also, I know, wow, I've gone on a lot of tangents today. But I know someone mentioned that there's a male VTuber for Nijisanji who's their most successful liver. And I wanted to touch back to that because I had thoughts about that as well. But I would just invite people to look at the current YouTube landscape and see who's at the top of that. Like, people, there's like a weird sentiment that male VTubers are discriminated against in the VTubing community. And that, like, why aren't there any good male VTubers? Da 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 da. Well, I think it's just because there's not as many of them. I don't think there actually are, or not as many that stay with it and like really enjoy it. But also, like, there's plenty of them. It's just we don't generally fall under this description. We're not this kind of VTuber generally. This is what the internet assumes you are when they look it up, and that's not what you are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just recognize that the niche you're in is this one. This is what people see on the surface level, and you're not that. Just is what it is. But if you can break past that, I actually also think that it's kind of a blessing in some ways. Because, like, I don't know, if the only reason why you guys would even be here is if you liked what I'm doing. Or at least had a passing interest, even if you don't like it. Right? It's just, you're not trying to be part of that crowd. You're not competing for them. You have to be your own thing, which I think in the long run is better for you. And that's great. I don't know. I never really got the whole male discrimination thing, or I get why male VTubers aren't as popular, but the ones that are popular are really popular because they figured out something else that like makes, that is just a part of their content. It's who they are. They're not popular because they're a VTuber, they're popular because of something else. And that's what I think VTubers need to get their head around, is that you can't just be a popular because you're a VTuber. You have to do something else now. Just, and so I think the people that do make it, that's what they did, is they figured out their thing that made them who they are. And that's great. That's what I hope to, be able to get to soon. Man, I have gone on a lot of tangents today. Holy cow. Oh, but that's okay. That's what these streams are for, you know? I no longer just do random gaming streams outside of the Monster Hunter Tuesday that I'm still in a group with. But because I do genuinely still enjoy streaming. I do. But I've also found my love of video content, which is something I didn't actually think would happen. When I first started doing it, I kind of just saw it as a chore and a royal pain in the neck, and I don't know, it is what it is. I mean, your channel is kind of like a live 2D pipeline. It's okay. Transforming people into VTubers and mamas and papas. Well, so originally, my original content was actually based around other games that I've played. Like I would like to think that I'm entertaining, but I think I'm just better at more informational style content. That's just who I kind of am, what I've settled into. And once I kind of accepted that, it's been good. It's been fine. And the reason why all my content is focused around VTubing right now is because I do really like talking about it. I think it's fascinating. I love the technology. I love the improvements that are being made. I love what you can do with it. I love what we're going to be able to do with it. There's just so much cool stuff. You found my channel because of the live 2D tutorials? Yeah, that sounds about right. That's definitely what I leaned into the most, was the live 2D stuff. 99% certain you found me because of the VTube Studio stuff. That's what most of my channel is these days. Or other VTuber related shenanigans now. But I'm okay with that, because I like talking about this stuff. It's cool. I think, and more importantly, I think that there are a lot of people who can take VTubing to another level. I don't know if I'm capable of that. I'm just going to be straight honest with you. Is like, I don't know if I'm capable of taking VTubing to the next step. But I know there's other people that are, but they just don't know how to get started. And that's kind of why I've been doing what I've been doing, is maybe I'm better at stuff than I think I am. Who knows? But I also think that helping other people get started is cool. So that's just kind of where I've settled into. I am going to return to entertaining content eventually. I'm going to try more stuff out and see what I can do. Because, like, obviously there's only so many tutorials I can make. There's a finite number of things I can talk about. And I'm not going to be one of those people who rehashes everything and just remakes it another way. Every video I make is because I feel I had a point or something that I needed to express to other people that I thought was valuable enough for me to make a video on it. That is one guarantee you will always have, is that the only reason why I make a video is because I felt it would help, or either help someone out, be entertaining, or otherwise be worth your time. Because I will never, ever, ever do something that is just to fill a time slot. That's just disgusting to me. But yeah, I want to see what you guys can do. I want to see what you guys can make. And I think that there are people who, for lack of a better word, they don't want to waste their time learning the basics. And because sometimes those basics aren't really necessary, they're just kind of a stepping stone, you know? Like, it's like learning Live 2D, right? I don't need to know how all the different parameters interact with everything else, because that's not what I'm passionate about. And that's what I feel like a lot of people aren't passionate about, is like, I don't want to know I don't have to know every single thing about how to set up my stream and do this and this. I want to use my avatar as a vehicle to do some sort of content. That's what I do, right? I mean, I was actually probably just going to do this stream IRL today, except for my stream room is kind of a mess right now because I moved some stuff around. Because I do like doing IRL content as well. Like, just stuff like that. I just want to see what you guys can do. That's really all it is. I think there's way too much cool stuff that I am incapable of doing that other people aren't, or that other people can. And also, fun fact, this is why I actually originally made my tutorials. You know, let's keep this between you and me, shall we? I made them because I didn't think other people's tutorials were really that great, and I got frustrated. So the reason why I made my own tutorials is because no one made tutorials in a way that made sense to me. So I was like, well, you know, I had the Thanos moment, I'll do it myself. There's a lot of tutorials out there, but I really do try to make sure that whatever point I'm trying to teach you, I try and do it in a way that it's foolproof or fail safe, because I especially try and focus on the visual aspects. Like, I'm not going to say that all my tutorials have every piece of information you're going to need. I'm not going to try and make that claim. There will always be something I either forget about or could have explained better. Like, there's always something to improve, right? But one thing that always drives me crazy, and I really try and make sure I do this every time, is if I'm talking about something, I'm showing it to you. I don't just say, add a new scene. I show you how to add a new scene while I'm saying, add a new scene, right? Like that, because I'm a visual kind of guy. Like, if I see how something's done, I can do it again. That's my preferred learning style. So if I can see it make sense, I get it. Like, I can do it again. It's great. It's wonderful. But I also don't think that that's how a lot of people do things. I think a lot of people just talk about things and like they're doing it while they're doing it, but they don't go out of their way to show you how it's being done. And that's frustrating for me. Yeah, you would think so, Mela. You would think so. But like, there's a lot of people that don't do that. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. You guys ready for the side tangent? The side tangent of all side tangents? Here, let's actually go to this scene. This stupid thing took me so long to do. Not because it's hard, but because everyone's just like, oh, I assume you know how to do this. And it's like, no, I don't. That's why I'm watching a freaking tutorial. Oh my gosh. It takes a second to load. The project's pretty big. This is a Unity project. All I was trying to do was get my face to work in the program. That's it. That's all I was trying to do. And it was one setting, one stupid setting that no one in any of the tutorials mentioned or ever mentioned. It wasn't a thing. Oh, I was so frustrated. I finally figured it out, and I was so, it's such an obscure thing. I was gonna make a whole video on this one little thing because I couldn't figure it out for like 30 hours. Oh my gosh. I was so upset. Anyways, welcome to the 3D world. This, is it? Uh-oh. Hello? Uh-oh. This isn't good. Okay, it's working. Cool. So this is our lovely 3D world that we've been working on for quite a while. It's been a few weeks since I've shown it off. All it was is there's a way that I had to combine the meshes in the right order and just not combine all of them, because on every tutorial what it was is they're like, oh, now you combine your meshes and export it. So that's what I did, is I combined all my meshes and exported it. But you're not supposed to combine all of your meshes. You're only supposed to combine a certain few meshes and then leave the rest alone. But they don't say that. They don't show it. Anyways. Settle down. Settle down, realist. Settle down. Sorry, it was frustrating. But yeah, so all of that was for this 3D project world that we've been working off and on, off and on for the last, I don't know, a couple months. It's coming along. It's looking okay. If I was in 3D gear, I could get up and move around. This is 3D model bro. You know, he's cool. He's the OG, just with a blue coat, you know. He's there. But what I was trying to get to work, and my model tracking is going to break for a second. Let me try and get this in the right spot. Just hang it. I need to toggle camera stuff. Okay, so all I was trying to do to get this to work is this. So now you should be able to see that my 3D model is, the head doesn't move because it's not, animated right now. But, and I still need to tweak it so that it works a little bit better. But this is the 3D model, and I've got all the face stuff working, so like, it's pretty responsive. Like, it follows the mouth and stuff pretty well. Eyebrows, eyes, all this stuff. Like, it's pretty good. It just takes a little bit to get used to. So the point is that like this little project to get just the faces to work, oh my god, it was so frustrating. But yeah, that's the project. One of these days I'm gonna get it to work correctly in the 3D environment. Well, it actually technically works. Although, actually, do you guys want to... let me see if I can get this to work. I don't know if this is going to work. Most of this stuff was done, by the way, and thanks... or due to Fofamit. She does some absolutely ridiculous tutorials. And... well, again, I had to figure out some of her tutorial stuff. she really did and does do great work for the VTubing community and pushing things to new levels, and like she does good stuff. Highly recommend you check her out if you are actually wanting to like do really weird stuff like this. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, it's only going to show off one. That's unfortunate. So this is my actual desktop being rendered in real time. Like, let's say I put my YouTube channel over here, or not mine, but Hikaru's YouTube channel over here. Ta-da! Now you can see his channel on screen. Cool stuff like that. This has been a really fun learning project for sure. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah. I need to fix his eyes. His eyes are creepy. As well as actually finish building out the rest of this world instead of just having random buildings everywhere. This is probably one of my favorite pictures I've ever made, by the way. We're approaching levels of meta we never thought was possible before. Yeah, my goal is to have, so another thing that also works, but I don't have everything set up because I wasn't planning on doing this today. All your guys' messages would be appearing here as well. And the idea is still to build in YouTube chat integration. It works really well on Twitch, but there's not anything dedicated for YouTube yet. And I really want to make that, but it's kind of slow going because people just don't care about it as much as Live 2D. So it's a back burner project. You'll definitely see this from time to time, mostly only as I have updates for it, because I have a programming friend who's helping me out with this, which reminds me, I need to talk to him and get that all good to go. I think he's still waiting for a repository from me for code or something, but yeah, that's the plan. That's the future plan. That's a black screen. That's not what I thought it was either. We'll just have my little thumbnail in the background. I freaking love Tad's drawings. They're so good. They're so good. But yeah, that's kind of where we're going, what we're doing, stuff like that. And I just hope that I can continue to do cool stuff and make things that are worth watching, and you know, all those shenanigans and things like that. I'm hopefully gonna have a video out tomorrow, going over some more audition advice stuff for Nijisanji. Again, some of the stuff that we talked about earlier that is on this Photoshop file. Haven't decided if I'm adding another tip or two in. Well, we'll kind of see. It's actually, the video is actually getting a little bit longer than my normal videos for once, because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but my average runtime is around like 4 minutes. Oh gosh. And I don't know, I'm like incapable of making long videos because I just don't care about wasting people's time. Like, if I have something I want to talk to you about, I'm going to tell you it in the most direct and clear way that I can. If it warrants a story for explanation, then sure, I'll tell you a story. But like, other than that, I just don't want to waste your time, you know? You're here for an answer. I'm gonna give it to you. That's my philosophy on any of these types of videos. We don't beat around the bush here. We just go straight for the throat, right for the jugular. I've got you in my sights. You can never escape. I'm coming for you. Swiggity switty. All right. Besides, if they get it, that's what timestamps are for. Yep. That's why on any video that I need to, I will always try and include timestamps, because, you know, again, if you want an answer to a specific question, that's all you came for, well, I did my job. I got you your answer. You know, that's great. That's fine. I'm cool with that. So, like I said, hopefully new video will come out tomorrow. Depends on if a certain person gives me their voice lines that I asked for tonight. If they did, then I'll be shooting it tomorrow. Hopefully I do, because I'm going to try and get it out tomorrow anyways. And if they don't, then you guys are just going to hear a really weird voice from me. It's going to be great. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But we're, like I said, we're going to, oh, I'm being blocked by my own chat. Let me, I'm going to move myself on over here, shall we? There we go. Middle of the screen. Let's go. You know what? Actually, let's go here. Let's go back to the talk show. Perfect. But yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. I'm going to try and increase the volume of videos that I make every week. I'm going to stick to my 1 a week kind of guarantee, because that's what I have been shown to be able to do consistently. But I've also really felt like a lot of motivation recently, and I'm trying to capitalize on that. So you guys might see more videos from me than normal for the next little while, which hopefully is a good thing. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it here for today. We're right about the 3 hours, which is pretty good. And my throat is actually a little sore because I've been a little bit more energetic than I usually am. We've talked about a lot of topics that I feel very strongly about, and you'll always know I genuinely care about something because my voice gets a little louder, I get a little bit more animated, and I just can't shut up. So, but hey, at least you know I actually care about what I'm talking about. But yeah, well, we'll call it here. I just want to say thanks to everyone who dropped by. Great stream, nice and chill. Like I said, more Nijisanji stuff tomorrow, and then I have no idea what we're doing next week. Well, I shouldn't say no idea. I have lots of ideas. I just don't know which one of them is going to be made. So, until next time, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever in the world you are. And I will see you all